What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you guys some different training you can add into your rules to make your jiu-jitsu so much better. Now, if you want to make your submission game so much better, I highly recommend trying these types of rules out where it's just you have one partner working the whole time on submission transitions and chaining them all together. So say if Marcus is going for a triangle, he can go then for an armbar, and then off the armbar he has to work something else. Now, training this is super important in jiu-jitsu. Not only does it give you speed with your submission transitions, but it just helps with uncomfortable positions, and I think it's one of the most beneficial parts of jiu-jitsu. Me being a super small grappler, I'm pretty good at submission transitions and using my speed to transfer to the next submission to the others. But this really does show what type of submissions you are going to go for in a regular match. So here, Marcus is going for an arm triangle, and then he's going to transition to another submission. And if you're really slow with submissions, trying this type of drill will definitely increase the speed and how you think in submissions. As you see, Marcus is going from the armbar to the rear triangle. Now, this would be a super long breakdown if I break down every single submission in this, so I'm not going to be explaining as many submissions as I can, but I can explain some of the key details that we see. But the way Marcus is thinking is, if he gets to a submission, he's looking for other submissions that are available in that same submission. So if he can't get to a submission inside of that submission, he's going to transfer to a better position, a more dominant one, to gain an advantage and get more submission attempts through that position. Now, this is what I mean about bad positioning. For me, I'm in a terrible spot, so I switch into a worse position, giving Marcus more options for submissions. Now, after he goes for the guillotine attempt, he's able to switch right into a triangle choke, and then off the triangle choke, he's going to work on something else. And then Marcus here goes for kind of a void crunch armbar. I'm not really sure what you call this. And then off of this, he's able to work into another triangle. Marcus then will work back to guard and work on a pendulum sweep. He is then able to flow right into an arm triangle, which sets up perfectly off of the pendulum sweep. Then I turn my back toward him, and he's then looking for other submissions. Then Marcus looks for another back take off of that, and I'm not really defending much. I'm just putting myself in really bad positions and seeing what is available to me. Marcus then goes for the RNC, and then he'll chain off and work to a triangle choke. And here I just go completely limp for fun, and then Marcus is able to isolate that arm and go for the rear triangle. Now, after he's working on the rear triangle, he then goes for a Kimura and then switches to an armbar to like another Kimura, and then I'm able to get out, and then I just turn to my stomach, aka go to turtle. And as I'm going into turtle, Marcus then starts working on some sort of calf slicer. He then goes for the rolling calf slicer and then takes my back off of it and starts working on some sort of RNC or yet another triangle. Those are just options for him, what he could do, but then he starts attacking an RNC and then he's trying to build off of that. Most importantly, just have fun with this drill, fool around and throw yourself in terrible positions. Consistently drilling the same submissions is going to make you so much better in those positions that you are in, and you will get way faster and you'll have a better thought process when it comes to those positions, because then you'll have that submission engraved in your head. I think this is a super good alternative, as you could do 1 minute rounds and then switch partners, and then Marcus goes for a hillbilly twister or the sitting twister, and then he switches off to side control and works on a darce. As he switches to the darce, then he switches over to the other side to make a better position and then go back to side control. Now, you can use submissions to get better positions too. In this instance, Marcus did exactly that, and now he's starting to work on something else. And then our roll ends, and big thanks to Marcus for drilling this with me. Have you heard of XMARTIAL? Well, XMARTIAL is currently changing the game, coming at you guys with fire designs. They are also giving back to the community, which they gave me a code to share with you guys, and you guys can use code Carter15 to save 15% at checkout. So now it is my turn. For my turn, I want to start in guard and work off as many submissions as I can off of guard. So here, as I start in guard, I work on my triangle, and then I'm going to switch out of this and I'm going to chain it to a different one. So we're both actually benefiting from this drill. It's not just me working on submissions. He actually puts himself in bad positions that he can use and escape or understand where there are possible submissions. Marcus is able to put himself in bad positions, so I can work off of submissions in that position. And you really get to practice your strengths and your weakness for both submissions and your positioning. As you see here, I'm going from my mounted triangle into my tarantula choke. If you haven't already, go check out the tarantula choke video. Now here's a super slick darce choke that you can definitely add to your game. I'm taking Marcus's left arm and I'm passing it through his head. My right arm is then entering through the armpit and it's following through and coming out to the other side. I grab my bicep and then after that I just transition and I start working onto a back take. Now from the back take I start working on an armbar here, and then I'm going to quickly transition to another triangle. And then Marcus gets smoked by my knee, and then I correct my triangle and switch it to the other side. And then I start looking to attack the armbar, and then I enter into the legs. I start on my Heisen guard / K guard, and then I work into the legs. Now from K guard I have a bunch of options. I have the knee bars, and then I have my calf slicers, which you see me attack here. I switch it to the other side to make it tighter, and I go for the ham sandwich. And then off of this, I work up, and then I start working on my truck position, which I absolutely mess up because I go on the wrong side, and I'm like, shoot, I don't even know how to attack this. But as I'm watching the footage over, I then see I could have just pulled his calf and I would have had it. And then I switch off to the other side and I insert my hook, and then I grab onto his shin, pulling him back and working on my triple threat. I have my calf slicer, I have my banana split, and then I have the notorious Eddie Bravo favorite, the twister. I then can work on the back take here, which I just have to kick one of my hooks forward, and then I can start attacking the RNC. Now, if you're doing a 5-minute round like us, you're probably going to repeat a bunch of the same submissions, which is totally okay, but the more reps you do makes for perfect practice, and that's why I'm repeating a bunch of the same submissions. I then, for my armbar, start working on a triangle, which these two submissions, armbar and triangle, flow so well off of each other. Then Marcus turns his back toward me, going to turtle, and then I sink my hook in over his arm, and I'm going to grab a Kimura grip, and then I'm going to roll over my shoulder, and I'm going to catch this rolling crucifix. From crucifix, you have a plethora of chokes and many different submissions. You have your armbar, which I'm attacking right now, and then you have your short choke, and you have your Kimura, and as you see, I'll do this weird little neck crank that I just learned, and then off of this neck crank, I just go right back into crucifix position, and as I'm going back here, I am like, hey, there's a triangle. So then I went for the triangle and then nearly cutting off Marcus's face with my shin. Then coming back up and I'm going for this variation of the short choke, which comes on super fast. Marcus then bellies out, aka goes to front head. And then I lock onto this guillotine. And then I grab onto this Kimura grip. And I use my foot to knock him over. And I'm getting back into this rear triangle position. Then I transition to my armbar as the time is counting, and I go back to this triangle, and then I start working on another armbar from this side. Now comment down below what type of content you guys would like to see in the future videos. I really do enjoy creating this breakdown content. It's just up to you guys to subscribe and like and let me know how you guys like this style content. I then go for the basic fat man choke, and then I switch off to neon belly, and then I switch off to the other side. I start working on my head and arm choke, and then I get Marcus to re-guard. And as Marcus is re-guarding, he does a really good technique. And then I do a little bit of quick guard passing because there's only seconds left into this round. I then go into my side control and I start working on a Kimura. As I'm working on the Kimura, I decide that a really good transition would be just going to his back and getting an RNC. And then I transfer into the armbar, and as I'm transferring into the armbar, I go for my 1000th triangle choke I've did in this video now. And then Marcus gets up, and then I'm able to take his back again and work on the RNC, then the buzzer rings.
You have to have your blindfold off.
Huh?
You have to have your blindfold.
I swear to God I don't. Like the cameraman, right?
Hold up fingers.
I actually cannot see. Hold up fingers. I'll even guess. 1,